When you need to build up your team to handle the growing chaos at work, use Indeed Sponsored Jobs. It gives your job post the boost it needs to be seen and helps reach people with the right skills, certifications, and more. Spend less time searching and more time actually interviewing candidates who check all your boxes. Listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. That's Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Need a hiring hero? This is a job for Indeed Sponsored Jobs.
Study and play come together on a Windows 11 PC. And for a limited time, college students get the best of both worlds. Get the Unreal College Deal. Everything you need to study and play with select Windows 11 PCs. Eligible students get a year of Microsoft 365 Premium and a year of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with a custom color Xbox wireless controller. Learn more at windows.com/student offer. While supplies last. Ends June 30th. Terms at aka.ms/collegepc.
In Japanese folklore, not all fear comes from what is loud, monstrous, or visibly threatening. Some of the most enduring stories are quiet ones. Stories that begin with something ordinary and end with a detail so wrong it destabilizes everything you thought you were seeing. I'm Kevin O'Shea, and in tonight's Supernatural Japan, we explore one of the most psychologically disturbing yokai in Japanese tradition, the Noppera-bo, the faceless one who walks among us. The Noppera-bo are yokai that appear at first completely indistinguishable from human beings. They are not grotesque in the traditional sense. There are no claws, no fangs, no twisted limbs. In fact, that's what makes them so effective in folklore. They begin as something familiar. A lone traveler might meet a woman by a riverbank, a merchant on a road, or even a servant or shopkeeper in a village setting. They speak normally. They may bow, greet, or even engage in polite conversation. Everything about them is designed to lower suspicion. And then, at the moment of revelation, the face simply disappears. No transition, no transformation, just absence. Where a face should be, eyes that read emotion, a mouth that forms words, a nose that anchors identity, there is only smooth, featureless skin, almost wax-like, almost artificial. Noppera-bo are rarely portrayed as physically aggressive. In most versions of the legend, they do not harm their victims directly. Instead, their impact is immediate psychological shock, confusion, terror, and the collapse of trust in what was just seen. The horror is not what they do, it's what they undo. Your certainty that you are looking at another human being. The term Noppera-bo has a strangely soft, almost casual sound when spoken aloud, which contrasts sharply with its meaning. That contrast is part of why the creature feels so unsettling in Japanese folklore. Noppera is associated with smoothness, flatness, or a blank surface. Bo is a colloquial suffix, often used to refer to a person or being. Put together, the name can be understood as the smooth-faced one, or the faceless being. But linguistically, the name carries more than description. It carries emotional emptiness. There is no dramatic monster title, no implication of power or rage. It is simply blankness given a label. And that blankness matters deeply in a culture where the face is tied to social identity. In traditional Japanese society, facial expression is closely linked to harmony, communication, and emotional restraint. The face is not just physical, it is social language. So when folklore removes it entirely, it is not just removing a feature, it is removing identity itself. Noppera-bo stories became popular during the Edo-period, often shared as part of kaidan or ghost stories told at night for entertainment, moral instruction, or social caution. Like many yokai, they tend to appear in in-between or liminal spaces, roads at dusk, river crossings, mountain paths, and quiet outskirts of towns where human presence is uncertain. These settings are important. In folklore, liminal spaces, the places between safety and wilderness, daylight and night, are where reality becomes unreliable. It is here that yokai are most often encountered. In practical terms, Noppera-bo stories may also have had grounded origins. Poor lighting, masks, disguises, or even mistaken identity could easily turn an ordinary encounter into something strange and frightening. A person covering their face in distress, or a traveler seen only in silhouette, might be misremembered or exaggerated over time. But the deeper function is psychological. The Noppera-bo represents a specific kind of fear, the fear of misrecognition. Not just encountering a stranger, but encountering something that appears human while suddenly violating what a human should look like. I suppose it's more like that kind of uncanny valley. When right away what I think of with uncanny valley is when the movie Polar Express first came out. People talked about how creepy everything looked because at the time the animation almost looked real, but there was something off about it. Now, in that sense, the Noppera-bo is less about monsters and more about perception itself, breaking down under uncertainty. One of the most widely known accounts of a Noppera-bo appears in the Edo-period storytelling tradition and was later recorded and popularized by Lafcadio Hearn in his retelling of Mujina. The story takes place in Akasaka, in Old Tokyo. A merchant is walking alone at dusk along a quiet road. The light is fading, and the atmosphere is still, almost suspended. Ahead of him, he notices a woman sitting near the roadside. Her body is slightly hunched, her face hidden in her sleeves as she sobs. At first, she seems like someone in distress. Perhaps she has been attacked. Perhaps she is lost. The merchant, concerned and polite, approaches her cautiously and asks if she needs help. She does not respond, only continues crying. And when he reaches out to touch her shoulder and reassurance, she slowly turns towards him. And what he sees makes him stumble backward in shock. Her face is completely blank. No eyes to meet his gaze, no mouth to speak, no nose to define expression, just smooth, featureless skin where human identity should be. The merchant runs in terror, eventually reaching a soba shop nearby where he bursts in, shaken and breathless, trying to describe what he saw. The shopkeeper listens calmly, almost too calmly, and then he asks quietly if this is what the merchant saw. And as he speaks, he wipes his own face clean. There is no difference between them, no separation between stranger and shopkeeper, only another Noppera-bo. Now, the implication of the story expands beyond a singular encounter. It suggests not just deception, but replacement, that these beings can exist within human society unnoticed, indistinguishable, until direct contact forces the revelation. Modern Japan no longer relies on dark rural roads lit only by lanterns. Yet the Noppera-bo continues to appear in contemporary storytelling, horror media, and urban legend discussions. Its persistence speaks to something deeper than historical superstition. At its core, the Noppera-bo represents the instability of recognition. We assume that seeing a human face guarantees understanding, emotion, identity, and tension. The face is the primary interface of trust. It is how we confirm this is a person like me. The Noppera-bo breaks that assumption completely. It's not a predator in the traditional sense. It does not need strength or weapons. Its power is conceptual. It removes the anchor that tells us we are safe, interpreting others. The old roads of Japan may be quieter now, their shadows replaced with street lamps and concrete paths, but the stories remain exactly where they always were, just beneath the surface of the familiar. The Noppera-bo is not remembered because it is loud or violent. It is remembered because it is empty. And emptiness in folklore is never truly nothing. It is a space waiting to be noticed. thanks for listening to Supernatural Japan. If you want to help our podcast grow, please leave an amazing rating and comment on Spotify, and of course, an incredible rating and review on Apple Podcasts or wherever else you listen to us. It really helps a lot. Now, if you would like to see what the Faceless Noppera-bo looks like, this yokai, go follow us on Instagram at Supernatural Japan, as well as our Facebook group. There are many cool photos, reels, and news about all kinds of spooky Japan things over there on Instagram. Links are in the show notes and over at supernaturaljapan.com. Now, there are so many awesome new followers, so many awesome folks that have joined us recently on Instagram. I just want to welcome you all and say thank you for joining us. Now, if you would like to go a little bit further in supporting the show, check out our premium memberships over on Patreon and Buy Me a Coffee. There's a lot of bonuses over there. You can listen to the Japan Ghost Stories podcast, and there's video versions of our interviews and a lot of other things as well. The links are in the show notes and over on the website. And you know what, everyone? I just really want to thank you all for taking the time to download Supernatural Japan and give it a go, give it a listen. If it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be making this podcast. So please spread the word and tell people you know, people who like spooky history, dark history, who like Japan, all of the above. Let them know about Supernatural Japan. And that's it, folks. So if you ever find yourself walking alone at dusk and you pass someone who feels just slightly wrong, not in what they do, but in what you cannot quite recognize, you might remember this story and wonder for just a moment whether the face looking back at you is something you can truly trust.